I think that comedy has just been in my DNA ever since I was born. I just had a funny way of...
Have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and being until you...
Blood! I am not on any social media. It's antithetical to my belief.
Was that I had experienced what the internet can do to so-called fame.
Speaking with Vanity Fair, the Academy Award-winning actor delves into the rationale behind his impending departure from the silver screen and sheds light on his aspirations for the future. Nicolas Cage is presently charting a performance course that diverges from what he dubs the memification of his on-screen identity. This shift is fueled by collaboration with emerging directors who entered the film industry as devoted fans of the iconic actor. The question lingers: what might truly underpin Cage's choice? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. But of course, before I spill anything, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this. Now let's dive in. With movies like Dream Scenario and Pig, I was trying to get closer to a more personal performance style, where there's less acting, if you will, and more being. Cage tells Vanity Fair. But you have to have material that can allow you to really express the life experiences and apply them behind the visage of another character with another name. Cage articulates this approach with a well-earned confidence. Seated in a stifling Century City green room, we've just concluded a panel discussion on Dream Scenario, an acclaimed project generating awards buzz, attended by an enthusiastic crowd of SAG-AFTRA members. Cage received a standing ovation and bid farewell amidst a sea of selfie requests, all of which he graciously fulfilled. The prolific actor keenly senses that this particular film is resonating on a profound level, and this reception, coupled with various other considerations, has prompted him to reassess his future in Hollywood. When questioned about a potential turning point, he reflects, "It's starting to solidify. I'm beginning to cement my plan." The crux of it: he is prepared to step away from film production, revealing, "I may have 3 or 4 more movies left in me."
So what's interesting about that is I think that everyone can relate to this movie on some level, because it can happen to all.
There's good mojo there for me, so I like making movies.
This marks a significant departure for Cage, who has consistently graced the silver screen for an impressive 37 consecutive years. During this remarkable span, he delivered breakout performances in films like Moonstruck and Raising Arizona, secured an Oscar for his role in Leaving Las Vegas, showcased his creative prowess in Adaptation, and more recently starred in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. His filmography for 2023 alone boasts 6 credits, ranging from cameo appearances to leading roles, and he has recently wrapped up production on several upcoming projects. Cage has perennially been one of the most ubiquitous figures in theaters, remarkably without ever venturing into the realm of streaming services. Despite openly discussing periods of taking on roles aggressively to settle debts, he is currently emerging from some of the most enriching acting experiences of his career. The question persists: why this decision now? "I do feel I've said what I've had to say with cinema," he says. "I think I took film performance as far as I could." Cage is at a kind of personal-professional convergence. The experience of campaigning for Dream Scenario, a dark meta-comedy in which Cage's mild-mannered professor starts popping up in strangers' dreams across the globe, has left him thinking holistically about his filmography. "I want to say bye on a high note," he says. Then there's the looming fact of Cage's 60th birthday in January. "I was taking stock of how much time I had left. I thought, okay, my dad died at 75. I'm going to be turning 60. If I'm lucky, I have maybe a good 15 years, and hopefully more. What do I want to do with those 15 years? Using my father as the model. It occurred very clearly to me that I want to spend time with my family."
This is a big night for me.
Is it?
This is I know it's 420 and all that,
yeah.
But this is the first time I have been on national television on a talk show in 14 years.
This doesn't signal the end of Cage's acting career. Rather, he's choosing to decelerate, aiming to navigate uncharted territories. In the interview, he emphasizes the importance of not getting stuck and outlines his aspiration as an actor to explore the fringes of screen performance. Cage expresses a desire to switch formats, with a particular inclination towards television. an avenue he has largely avoided, except for a pilot he filmed at the age of 15. Drawing inspiration from Bryan Cranston's transformative role in Breaking Bad, Cage is intrigued by the challenge and thrill of episodic acting, the opportunity to evolve a character over an extended period. Contemplating the idea of diving into the immersive streaming experiences, he muses, maybe it's time to look at the immersive streaming experience. I don't know. I have to look for the next step, and I haven't found it yet. The casting of Cage in Dream Scenario was a deliberate choice, grounded in several considerations.
In my own life experience, the reason why I felt I could play Paul was that I had experienced what the internet can do to so-called fame.
The actor's persona, an extreme vision of which resides in the collective imagination, has experienced both remarkable highs and challenging lows over 4 decades in the spotlight. In this film, writer-director Christopher Borgli provides Cage with the space to reevaluate this extensive journey in nuanced shades, traversing the spectrum from deadpan to desperate to deeply melancholic. Having been a devoted fan of Cage's more ambitious works, such as Spike Jonze's Adaptation, Borgli's perspective transcended the limitations imposed by internet perceptions and less than spectacular VOD titles, acknowledging Cage's capabilities beyond conventional expectations. I don't think that's as easy to get with the older guard, so to speak. They've already made up their minds about me, Cage says. But the younger generation that perhaps saw some movies at a very impressionable age, it's the way I would feel about Fellini or some of the actors on television that I admired, like Charles Bronson. During both our panel discussion and subsequent interview, Cage expresses profound gratitude for his union's advocacy, particularly as he actively supports the cause on the other side of the SAG-AFTRA strike. Even before reaching an agreement with the AMPTP studios, Dream Scenario had secured an interim agreement allowing Cage to hit the road with the film from its premiere in Toronto. Speaking highly of A24, he commends them as an actor-friendly entity with a keen eye for original material that other studios might be hesitant to embrace. Despite having played roles in numerous big studio productions, the ongoing evolution of the industry prompts Cage to contemplate questions of legacy. I'm thinking a lot about what happens to my likeness when I pass on, he says, again noting his distaste for his recent alter performance in The Flash. I don't want, for example, Peter Lowe or Frank Pierce or Cameron Poe or any of these characters that I've created to be put into a computer that decides what to do with them. I'm very concerned about how they would use my likeness.
But then I began to learn to love it. You know, also, I've had great experiences making movies there. I mean, leaving Las Vegas was great. Honeymoon in Vegas.
Cage openly acknowledges that, like any actor with a long and varied career, he hasn't always been pleased with the outcomes of certain films. Reflecting on this aspect, he admits, "I've had that quite a few times. I don't want to mention names, but you can't avoid it if you've been doing it as long as I've been doing it. It's going to happen." However, as he transitions away from filmmaking, there are specific titles he hopes will undergo reevaluation, pointing to the critical reception of Bangkok Dangerous in 2008, which faced harsh criticism. He contrasts it with David Fincher's The Killer, a well-crafted film about an assassin. Cage believes Bangkok Dangerous delved deeply into the character's essence, offering a different, less nihilistic perspective. He suggests that the movie might benefit from additional viewings, particularly when considered in the context of The Killer. And that's about as far as Cage would like to look back right now, even as he prepares to put a bow on an extraordinary life on the big screen. "I do want to get much more severe and stringent in my selection process," he says, thinking about his final few films. "But I want to look ahead. I want to see what's next." Cage undeniably stands out as one of the most unpredictable actors in contemporary cinema. Not only are his choices in film roles full of surprises, but his approach to portraying characters is equally unpredictable. Renowned for his distinctive line deliveries, Cage possesses the extraordinary ability to transform seemingly straightforward dialogue on the page into a dramatic symphony of emotions during his performances. This distinctive style has left an indelible mark on over 100 diverse characters across a broad spectrum of genres, ranging from action, thriller, and comedy to drama, horror, fantasy, and every conceivable combination thereof.
There's good mojo there for me, so I like making movies.
Cage has collaborated with some of the most esteemed and captivating filmmakers in Hollywood, boasting an impressive list that includes Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, the Coen brothers, Ridley Scott, Werner Herzog, Spike Jonze, Oliver Stone, David Lynch, John Woo, Matthew Vaughn, Gore Verbinski, and others. His versatile career has seen him embody traditional Hollywood leading men, fantastical monsters, superheroes, an arms dealer, a hitman, a pilot, a professor, a cowboy, and virtually everything in between. Notably, he even portrayed a fictionalized version of himself in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. While the assertion that he has said what he's had to say with cinema may be bold, Cage's extensive filmography certainly substantiates such a claim. Whether he ultimately retires from movies in the coming years remains uncertain, but Cage undeniably stands out as a unique star, leaving an indelible mark with countless memorable performances. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.